Hello, hello. Happy Saturday. I hope everyone is having a great weekend and doing something fun. Yeah. If that means you're sleeping in and relaxing today, good. If it means you're out and about, fantastic. Yeah, I hope you're having fun, whatever it is that you're doing. And I thank you for taking the time out to tune in to Enlightened World Network. I'm Tomas Garza, and this is A Course in Miracles 365 Awakening to Love. Well, and I really want to, first of all, just thank you again for tuning in here, for catching this, whether you're watching live or on the replay. There are so many different programs, aren't there? There are so many different things on social media that we could watch. There are so many things that are clamoring for our attention, so many Twitter feeds, so many YouTube channels, Facebook feeds. You could stare at your phone and look at the news, at sports, at something else, or you could just get involved in anything. And here you are. So let's sit with that. Yeah, you're here watching this for some very good reasons. Maybe it's one reason, but you're here for a purpose. And I invite you, as you listen to the commentary and the discussion for the next few minutes, to think to yourself about what that is and just open your mind, open your heart as much as you feel capable of doing right now. Because some days are better than others, aren't they? Maybe you're having a wildly stressful day, or maybe you are deeply relaxed. So wherever you're coming from, let's just take a moment and think about how come you're watching this? Like, what are you going to get out of this? And I invite your comments. I invite your questions. Yes, all of the shares of this page are greatly appreciated. Thank you in advance for sharing, for all of the comments, for the hearts, the likes, all of that. We aim to create a community here because we are a community. Literally all of us. So it's an opportunity for you to go deep with yourself. And quite literally, we have that opportunity at every moment to go deep with ourselves and to choose a different course, to choose a different trajectory in our life. We have that opportunity right now. Now, we often find ourselves in a position in the world where we don't feel like we have that opportunity, do we? We get stressed out. We get behind on a long to-do list of tasks. Our email backs up. Yeah. There are all kinds of things, again, that clamor for our attention. So spiritual practice is a beautiful way not only to stay sane in the midst of 21st century life, but also to move beyond it to the point where, yes, we pay attention to these things like the bills, like email, like earning an income, that sort of thing, but they no longer govern our minds. Why? Because we've turned our minds to the deeper questions, including the deepest question, perhaps, of them all. Who am I? Yeah. And what am I? Enter lesson 164, which is where we are in the workbook for students. And this is strong and it's powerful. All of these ideas in the workbook are strong. All of these ideas are powerful. Lesson 164 says, now we are one with him who is our source. Yeah, let's sit with this one and let this one move around in our being and percolate. Yeah. Now we are one with him who is our source. Now we are one with him who is our source. The commentary for today starts off with a very simple pronouncement that the present is the only time there is. So true, isn't it? We have only the present moment. So if this is, in fact, the only time there is, it's the only, all we have is right now. Because the past is gone, the future's not here. Therefore, neither of them exists right now. So, logically, following this, if something is true right now and there's only now, it's always true. If something is untrue right now and there's only now, it is untrue. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. This is from the introduction to the text of A Course in Miracles. Now we are one with him who is our source. Again, something that is true now is always true. There is only now. Something that is false, illusory, and unreal right now is always false, untrue, and illusory. Why? There's only now. We spoke at length yesterday on the live stream about choosing love or fear, about choosing life or death, about choosing God or the ego. That's the choice that we make. And the more we choose love, the more we choose God, the more we choose, if you prefer, our higher self or source, capital S here, like in this idea, lesson 164 today, the more we choose love, the more we experience joy and peace. And yes, bliss, yes, joy and limitlessness, forgiveness, love. Our choice, our power of decision, which we have right now in the present moment, is literally all powerful. It makes a world. If we choose fear, we make up a pandemic, we make up strife, we make up apparently competing nations, apparently competing economic and political parties. We make up bodies. We seem to be opposed to one another. That is the result of a fear-based choice, is a sense of separation, a sense of being cut off, disunity. Now, having made that choice, because now is the only time that there is, we have an opportunity to choose again. And yes, this does most definitely mean that you can choose differently. And I invite you to choose differently. Now we are one with him who is our source. You have heard this without a doubt from various spiritual traditions, that we are one with God. You may have, of course, been raised in a tradition that maybe felt this at heart, but presented something completely different. That is the case with me. I was raised in a couple of different fundamentalist Christian traditions in the United States, where I was born and live currently. One fundamentalist tradition was when I was very young. I was under 10 when my parents left that fundamentalist church, and the other one I left when I got my driver's license as a teenager. So I didn't buy into a lot of the separation rhetoric that these two churches maintained. Yeah. Maintained with an insistence that they and they alone own and monopolize the truth. See, no one monopolizes the truth. It just is. One building on one side of the world does not monopolize the truth, which is just as true on the other side of the world when they call that building something different, right? They have a different day that they consider holy. Same God. There is only God. In A Course in Miracles, you hear and find, both in the commentaries and in the Course itself, just a simple statement: God is. This means exactly what it says. God is, and therefore only God is. If you're familiar with Advaita Vedanta, the Eastern spiritual tradition, Advaita is roughly translated as only Brahman is, only God is, and nothing else. Which means that all of our mad wanderings and ravings and everything that we obsess, we latch onto and attach to, or repel or feel revulsion to in this lifetime, everything that is not who we are is in fact not real. Now, if you don't believe that, I completely understand that. This is not something that everyone hears once and automatically accepts. Most of us find ourselves engaged in a process where the intellectual mind wants to go to town with this. It wants to discuss and debate and create levels and hierarchies of ascension and enlightenment. And yeah, it wants to split things up into categories, doesn't it? And analyze intellectually what can only be experienced and not, incidentally, by the intellect. Spirituality is all about experience. That's why A Course in Miracles is universal spirituality. That's why, in fact, spirituality is universal. It's all about experience. What experience? It's the experience of lesson 164. Now we are one with him who is our source. I invite you, if you're not familiar with Christian and Judeo-Christian terminology, like calling God a he, and using the pronouns he, him, they're just words. That's not the most politically correct thing to say here in the 21st century, is it? But they're just words. Words are simply symbols. They're references. They are not the thing or the experience themselves. So whether you refer to the truth of who we all are as God or source or anything else, is fine. I invite you to use whatever term is comfortable for you, because A Course in Miracles is, by its design and nature, all inclusive. It doesn't matter what background you come from. It doesn't matter what gender you are, how old you are, what part of the world you come from. None of that makes any difference whatsoever. Now we are one with him who is our source. Yeah, one with. So I invite you today to contemplate this idea. If you feel so inclined, I suggest that you take a look at the comments that follow this workbook lesson. Whether you own a copy of the book, A Course in Miracles, or whether you look at it online, the information is, of course, readily available. We're in the 21st century, and where there's a will, there are many ways. many. So I invite you to not limit yourself by thinking, well, I don't own a copy of the book, so I'll just wait until I maybe purchase it sometime down the line, and then I'll wait to open it until maybe I feel ready. Yeah, information is available right now. Guess what? Awakening is available right now. As the Course would say, heaven is available right now. Why? Now is the only time that there is. What is true now is always true. Always has been, always will be. But there is no has been, there is no will be. Now is the only time. Something that is true now is always true. Something that is unreal and illusory now is always unreal, always illusory. So this becomes a matter of our accepting and allowing this truth into our lives. So we consider it. We come back to the idea as many times as we can and must during the day. We go about our lives. No need to go off and take up robes and move to the Himalayas. Spirituality can be accomplished right here, right now. Why? There is only now. What's true now is always true. All right. So that's all I have to say, I think, about this. And I invite all of you to tune in and say hello and leave some comments here. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer them here on the live stream. And if I don't get to them here on the live stream, I'll get to them later on. So feel welcome to type them in anyway. This is one of the beauties of having a Facebook Live. Yeah, love it, love it. All right, April and Norma, hi, how are you? Thank you all for tuning in. If you're still here, definitely feel welcome to leave questions, comments, give a shout out. And I know a number of you catch this show on the replay. It's offered on the average about 6 days a week. I typically take off Sunday, and I'll be doing that again tomorrow because my wife Cindy and I are going hiking up in Sedona. We live in Phoenix, Arizona, so we're just going to drive a couple hours north, go up in altitude to the Red Rocks, and do some hiking. Yeah, very, very beautiful. So I will be back on this live stream on Monday. So if you're just catching me for the first time, or it's been a while since you've tuned in, welcome and welcome back. Anyone is welcome here. While we talk about A Course in Miracles specifically, understand that the Course presents universal spirituality. So no matter what tradition you practice or come from, there is, without a doubt, something that is directly applicable to your own walk, to your own journey. If it weren't the case, you wouldn't be watching. So I thank you for watching and for not just for investing the time in watching this live stream, but what I really deeply, viscerally want to thank you for is your commitment to awakening itself. There's so many things we could do in this lifetime, and here you are pursuing a spiritual path. I'm here to help you if you need help with that. Yeah, I'm here to help and assist you on this walk. It is the most important thing that we can do. In fact, it's why we're all here. So good for you for doing it. I'm very happy about that. And that, above anything else, above page shares, comments, likes, hearts, all of that, that's what I'm really grateful to you for, is your own commitment to all of us, to awakening, because we, emphasis on we, plural, are all one. All of us. So of course, there's no plural, is there? Just one. We're all included. Okay. So thank you. And thank you for tuning in, of course. And I will see you again on Monday. I hope that everyone has a beautiful weekend, and I will talk to you very soon.